Let's talk about Barry. In the world of mainline Pokemon, rivals have been a consistent feature from the very first games all the way to the most recent titles. They've been through a whole lot of changes over the years, and opinion differs when it comes to whether those changes have, all in all, been a good thing or a bad thing. But personally, I like to maintain that each rival provides us with something unique that deserves to be given a spotlight for a few minutes. So in this series of videos, I am making my way through all of the main rivals in the Pokemon video game series, and exploring their characters, their journeys, their relationships with the player, and any other fun and interesting stuff we can think of along the way. Today, it's Barry's turn. We're dipping our toes back into the Sinnoh region, with Pokémon Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, and of course the remakes Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl as well. Settle in, grab a coffee, let's have a chat. So Barry is actually framed as the protagonist's childhood friend. The rival dynamic between us and him is a new facet of our relationship that builds over the course of the games. First and foremost, he is our long-standing best buddy. My first impression of Barry is that he is a human wrecking ball. Perhaps his most memorable trait is appearing out of nowhere and smashing into people. Mostly us, the main character. I think this is obviously to visualize just how hyperactive and impatient he is. In a 2D space like the 4th generation games are built in, where we didn't have the luxury of body language or facial expressions yet, that's bound to be kinda hard to do. So this actually did a pretty decent job of physically conveying that, I think. It's annoying, but it's a cool idea. And the visuals and dialogue also conveys just how unbreakable Barry's enthusiastic personality is. This kid will make a fantastic salesman someday because he is an inextinguishable ball of energy. Barry seems like the kind of character who is always optimistic that a solution can be found to any problem. It can mean he can be quite reckless and impulsive as well though. At the very start of Pokémon Platinum, he's so eager to get to the next town that he's willing to risk running into the wild grass without having a single Pokémon in his party. He reckons he can just improvise and YOLO his way through pretty much anything. It makes you wonder what kind of rivalry we're getting ourselves in for here, because the boy seems like a restless ferret. In terms of Barry's role in the story, narratively, he's pretty simple. He serves to nudge us along in our adventure. He's one of those kind of rivals. I actually think Barry is the closest thing to Nemona that we got before Nemona. She's a separate video. But he fits that profile. He's hurried and excitable, and wants to challenge you just for the sheer thrill of battling his friend most of the time. There is no grand story arc here. He's just out there enjoying himself, living it up as a Pokemon trainer. He does act as sort of a comic relief character at times for me. I'll always point to his interactions with the gym leader Wake as something I'll always find funny. Barry basically just decides that he is now Wake's apprentice, and starts calling him Master during their interactions, to which Wake is constantly having to remind him that he doesn't take on apprentices, and that Barry doesn't even need him regardless. He's a very unserious character in that regard. It's almost like he's living out a cosplay. He clearly has his romanticizations, probably from stuff he's seen on TV like most of us as kids, and he's trying to materialize them now in his own life. So he's kinda relatable as a character in that sense. That definitely mirrors a lot of my experiences as a kid. I do think though that there is a shift in his character after he loses to Team Galactic up at Lake Acuity, when he's trying to protect suffering Pokemon and fails to do so. He has this realization that winning or losing Pokemon battles can come with heavy consequences, that this isn't all fun and games all of the time. He sort of loses his innocence at this point here. He bucks up and realizes he needs to be strong, not just for his own fun, but so he can successfully fight for what's right when it's required as well. And it doesn't take him too long to kick into that higher gear, because just a little later when we reach Spear Pillar, Barry rushes up and joins us in a double battle to take down a couple of the Team Galactic admins, showing that he isn't just some goofy, hyperactive little guy. He has that ability to lock in and channel his energy productively. So this is the point where I finally started to really value Barry as a character. The point where I was like, so okay, it is a simple arc, but there is some progression there to appreciate. In the post-game, his background is fleshed out a bit more. We start to properly learn about Barry's dad, Palmer, who is one of the Frontier brains in the Battle Frontier, or the leader of the Battle Tower in the base versions. basically one of the big strong trainers in the DLC area. And Barry wants to be like him. It's another motivation of his that we uncover in the later portion of the game. And another thing that's really funny is that Palmer shares the same trait Barry has of rushing around and crashing into people. I think that was a great touch. I wouldn't want to grow up in that house, but I like that of all the traits they could have shared, they went with the human wrecking ball one. And this is a really cool bonus chunk of lore for people who play through into the post-game of the Gen 4 games. As I said earlier, Barry is one of those chummy, friendly rivals, but with some added quirks and subtle character growth. His little ongoing "I'm gonna find you $10 million" catchphrase is something that actually took me a couple of playthroughs to really properly pay attention to. His character definitely has more layers the closer you look. I do feel the absence of a major rival in the Gen 4 games when I play through them, although I'm not sure if that's the fault of Barry as a character or of Team Galactic for being a bit more bland and prototypical as an antagonist Pokemon team. But as I was bouncing around Sinnoh in these games, I just felt like something was missing. There was a certain part of the experience that didn't feel like it had enough weight to it. But that literally could just be me. To be fair to him, he does stay a step ahead of you at points in the games. Like he'll have already defeated a gym by the time you get to that city. But it's not delivered in a taunting or jibey way like it was with Blue, for example. But I guess you could perceive that as a motivator to get on with it and defeat the gym yourself to catch up to him. Those subtle rival beats are still there. I've never been a fan of Barry personally, it's not much of a secret. I just find him more annoying than endearing on the balance of it all. And he's way more of an ally than a true rival, which is something else I'm not overly crazy about. He's an annoying ally. There's the video title, locked in. But at the same time, he is so inoffensive that you kind of feel bad for having any sort of dislike for him. He is a pretty wholesome character, but I like a bit of tension, and Barry just doesn't satiate that desire for me. As we've mentioned though, there are layers to this character. You've just got to look a little closer. Behind the silliness, the excitability, the obnoxious enthusiasm, whether that is the kind of thing that appeals to you or completely ticks you off is going to be the big defining factor for the overall picture you paint of his character. So what do you guys think about Barry? Is he your kind of rival? Do you have a soft spot for him? Or is he just not the one for you? I feel like there could be plenty of points on either side, so definitely let me know all your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. While you're down there, please do drop a like on the video, subscribe for more Pokemon content, special thanks to our channel members here, and of course join the Discord and chat with us more over there. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one.